Welcome to the Salvation Army Youth video. Come dance with me.
I didn't see you there. I'm just trying to up my juggling game, Well, what are you guys doing here anyway? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I know why you're here. You're here for story time. What? Story time. Anyways, our story time today is about a teacher, and he was in charge of a talent company. See, this teacher, he specialized in teaching and giving people talents. So this, boys and girls, is the story of the talent giver. Now, the talent giver, he was very happy with his company, but he wanted it to grow. So he decided to go on a business trip to learn how to do so. But before leaving, he entrusted his company to his 3 students, and he gave each student a specific talent to use while he's away. He gave the first student the talent of music. He gave the second student the talent of baking. And he gave the third student the talent of juggling. Wait, what? Then he told his students to use their talents to represent him and to gain more students to the company. Then he left on his journey. Now, the first student, he took his music talent, took it to the streets, and he shared it with others. And he gained a new student to the company. Then the second student, she took her baking talents to the streets and she shared it with others. And she also gained a new student to the company. But the third student, he didn't really think that his juggling talent was as important as everybody else's. So he just stayed home and played video games. Gaining 0 new students to the company. Shame, shame. But would you guess what happens next? The talent giver returned. Well, when the talent giver returned, he gathered all his students together to report to him so that he could see what they did with the talents that he gave them. He first looked at student 1, and that student said,
"Teacher, I took the music talent you gave me and I went to the streets and I gained you 1 new student."
Then the teacher smiled and said, "Well done, my good and faithful student. You will be in charge of many things, and you will have a share in my company." Then he looked at the second student, and that student said,
Teacher, I took the baking talent you gave me, I shared it with others, and I earned myself a new student.
The teacher smiled and said, "Well done, my good and faithful student. You too will be put in charge of many things, and I also will give you a share in my company." He then looked at the third student, and that student said, "Teacher, I'm sorry, but I just didn't think that this juggling talent you gave me was as important as everybody else's. Plus, I didn't want to get into the way of the other students, but I took care of your juggling balls." And the teacher was angry at that, though. And he looked at the student and he said, "You lazy student. How could you possibly know the importance of your talent if you didn't even try to use it?" You could have at least taught it to somebody else and have them show it to people in the streets. But now, because of that, you missed out on an opportunity to gain another student to our company. And since you didn't use the talents I gave you wisely, I'm going to have to take it away and give it to somebody else. And then he took away his video games and he grounded him for 3 weeks. Now, after listening to this story, which of these students use their talents in the best way? What was that? Wait, did I just hear you say students 1 and 2? Well, if you said that, you're absolutely correct. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back and a high five, even a secret handshake. I do it with you, but we're still practicing social distancing. But anyways, this whole month, we're learning about how we are all God's creation. And today's memory verse, it's very special. It's found in Ephesians 2:10. And it says this, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." See, we're all created to do great and amazing things. And God gave all of us special and unique talents that we're meant to use to glorify Him. Now, some of us, we already know what our talents are. But there are some of us who are still learning what that is as we grow. But once we figure out what our talents are, it's important that we use them to bless others and also lead them to Christ. So today, I just want to encourage you to learn and discover the talents that God has given you and use it to glorify Him. That's it for our story time today. Thank you for tuning in to Auburn Youth Ministries, and we'll see you next time. Get it.